Tobane, Lambale Sorata, Tisson Chicken, Don Jimba, Coaches.
So, in this way, just one carry through the practice of subjugating to the Guru as a condensed nature of all the past and present future Buddhas.
Naronso Chembochi, Yaboin, Sonleke, or Dedo, Najaremato, Pemba Meganajes.
So, oneself thinking that oneself is great or good is basically just based on one's ego, and so it does not really benefit oneself.
Nyamumba, do Naki on Suchi. Only Consum Kora, she known it in Aronso. Long years.
So we are bound by all these 5 poisons, the afflictive emotions, and because of that, we are inside this fall down into the samsara.
Naronso, Santi Marip, Sente Yonsobaku Kori Dungale, Nendiris.
And all the sentient beings that somehow we are experiencing and wandering in the cyclic existence.
Then there's it known, Namka train no Tupojinone, Katie, Lochubatanjike, then the Sonjetan Jitutis and Lagiron so. She took it to somebody. Chile Devasha and Shomati, Sonjet on the teachers and Laron, son of Jindebuchis. So
then, in such kind of situation, that wandering in the samsara, which is like a kind of very dark cloud, that which one cannot really see anything, and in between, when there happens a flash of light, that which one could do, see, it is that similar like that, how within the samsara one could have an instant thought of, just devotion, and wants to do the practice is the blessing of all the, Buddhas, and part that of one's, accumulation in the past lifetime.
Courage dungar chembononi, shindi yabachi, they are Dentubadi, Sanji Komore Mato, and also Yamas.
So that how we are being stuck and wandering in the suffering of the samsara, that there is no any other way or method except that the obtaining enlightenment through the help of Buddhas.
Sumba don't change you last about then on the Sorata, no then of the children, Newfoundland, Nekap, they are the Togris, Tatu de Akadi Togas.
And even these holy gods such as Brahma and the Indra and Vishnu, that however sorts of that practice one may follow, that one could have a temporary happiness, but of course one cannot obtain that ultimate happiness.
Tartuki Deva Tovrashebalan, Taratan Tichima, Sonti Kohu, their own Remado, there's some not good, Hako good.
So to achieve the ultimate happiness and the peace, that is the only path of that the actual practice of the Buddhism and obtaining the Buddhahood, and other than that, just there is no any other way. One have to just think, and one have to try to understand. So just to follow that path, then the most important is that one have to liberate from the grasping of the subject and object. And when we have a strong grasping over oneself, and then just we also have that ego, and then just build up that thought, I'm great or rich and just wealthy, and that way how still we create problems to oneself.
Tatten Yasa Sony Shivin Nekas Mount Bunny, Pento about Tiomare, Toshi Hudson, Pento Bagay.
So to that, if one examine, then just at the end, when we are just going to die, then there is no anything that which can support that which is reliable at that moment of death.
Don't some Zambul in Panjalon said Metile Yenayo. Tata Yeres on Joselis, son of Momboji Yere, Hindo the Kupation Americano, Sinoguris.
So even that one could have the wealth of, just 3,000 merits world, and at that moment one think, oneself is rich and one could to have everything, but moment when time comes for the death, and then, one cannot just really carry anything, even just a single needle or just thread with oneself.
Yoboton, Memon, Mamela Soba. Don't show Momboji now. Tata can don't the cat sit about something yet about something could chamber in the Meji now. So you hear the John Majin dog, Metiu Triamaris.
So even that oneself is just a leader that who may have like hundreds thousands of attendants, and then military, and then just peoples, and who also just follow your command, and just very in a respect way. But when death comes to oneself, then one cannot take anyone with oneself.
Kalaton Kilola Soba Zasa Rangi Zupo Bemasis Sonshoshin What Titation Duba Desi Kusas on Charles Desi Kalanius Dawsons Yen Natas Yen and Dian Natas Yen and Dish and Dizubut and Dio Sony Menesin and Rachuno Donandas Satiazelas of Sananda Gona Dut Taratam never Tornogramato. Even
this, our present body that which we have been just taking care with all this, very good clothing and very good, food, and in that way, how we just have attachment and take care of it, and even we feel little bit of cold, then put more cloth, and even feel little bit hungry, then eat food, and then even just sometimes have little bit sickness, then lie to the right or wrong, left side, and in that way, just how we just take care of it, but. And then at the end, when death just comes, then that becomes a dead body, that whether it may throw into river or burn into ashes or just whatever it happens, that there is nothing that which one can really take with oneself. So all the samsaric phenomena is known as the compounded. So anything that which is compounded phenomena is that which is by its nature, impermanent, that which can fall into parts.
Oh, then the sugar, Teletenet, Chabatan, Hituba sugar, the nation is some not on Rongas and this, and then Bemas and number I won't do somebody, Zubodric, non king Ruparas, Ruba in the king read the sound not on Timinus.
So then, even that all these beautiful objects, like where we have so much attachment or desire, that for that, just practice, also according to Hinayana, then they visualize all these, skeletons, and in that way, how they can just get rid of their desire or that attachment where we think, oh, this is so beautiful, this is so nice, good looking, and in that way, if we just really examine, this is just, bones and flesh, there is nothing kind of, essential thing.
That's on magic up. What then I can Ladon Lamo. What then is Satan Dogre? Then Ladon Lamo, they're not on the same charges to treaters at Maros.
But according to the secret mantrayana practice, then we just try to perceive or visualize that everything as like a, in one way as like, mother and sisters, or in other hand, visualize that as the male and female deities. So as a deity, of course, there is no anything that kind of, give rise to thought of desire or attachment. So in general, that to subdue our mind or to tame the mind, of course, there are many different dharma methods. So our actual responsibility of just following these practices is that how we can just liberate our mind from these attachment in relation with these compounded phenomena, and how we can liberate from the concept and grasping of that subject and objects. So the 5 poisons, these afflictive emotions, is just kind of co-emergent when oneself is born. And according to the Hinana, then they try to abandon it like a poison. And there are also many different methods to abandon those. And according to the Vajrayana, then just everything try to dissolve into emptiness, or try to realize the nature of emptiness, and then one just sealed everything in that way. So at that time, that there is no object to give rise to any afflictive emotion, and there is no any just that subject and all sorts of activity. So then during our Guru Yoga practice, that where we chant the Lama Keno, at that time one have to just think all these sentient beings, how they are just wandering in the samsara, something which is like a just poisonous snake spit, or like a burning just liberate from them. In that way, one have to just carry the prayers. And then where we say Ye Lama Keno, that where we chant Ye is like a kind of calling the Lama in a more specific way.
Lama to mention about you, Marite, Rangi Sano Chicanite, Lame to that society, that's all that get you at the Hegel. So, of course, that Lama somehow, that just being Lama's mind got distracted, and maybe not just knowing that sort of things is even though not there, but from one's side or from oneself, that just to make sure that where oneself is calling the Lama. Sanje tisum kundi zai Lama kangi senten yansu toba chigi tiu keti ti sanno kasen damna kare tenao keti ba mandi ba chengi yores.
And that the 3 times of the Buddha, that which is just contains to the root teacher, is that all the sentient beings, every moment of their thoughts somehow can just conceit. And whatever sorts of all the afflicted conversations we may just carry through, that everything can be heard by all these enlightened Buddhas. And for us, that if anything is in front of you, we can see. If it is not in front, then we cannot see or know. But for all the enlightened Buddhas, it is not like that. There is no any difference whether it is in front or somewhere else. And however, whatever we do, any sort of negative action or kind of afflictive thoughts, whatever we just arise, but still all the just 3 times Buddha, they just always just know everything very clear to their enlightened mind. So in that way, just oneself also thinks that, oh, these enlightened Buddhas, of course they know, and that way one have to just try to just maintain one's discipline in a proper way. So then where we chant this Lama Rangkeno, at that time then thinking that oneself from beginningless lifetime till now just with the negative karmas, oneself wandering in the samsara, now that one wish to liberate, and then just not kind of just asking to one's father, or just not having any kind of discussion with one's mother, and not having one's own kind of decision, completely relying to the just master, and just saying that I wish to liberate, and kindly hit me. And we could just deceive each other, but we cannot ever deceive the law of karma and all the enlightened Buddhas. So at that moment, of course, all these Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they never punish us, but since one have accumulated all these negativities, then in that way one may just fall into 3 lower realms, and then just continuously one just wander in the samsara. So that is why it is important to just work harder to do the practice.
What I'm over here, come on, as soon as you get and not Koso Kalikalis and Theatre Soon, no, they are Sabamoboyer. Oh, yeah, Deri Tugar going Mato, then they met the Rons young lenses.
So now that the Tegel first year and second year students can stay, rest you all can leave for your practice.
Okay, thank you.